This game almost completely died, falling from an average player count of 1,481 all the way down to 167 only 6 months later. Looks like developers decided to take another shot at making their game good again. The concept of this game is quite simple. Similar to Identity V and Dead by Daylight, 4 survivors go head to head against 1 hunter. In this game, survivors are called visitors, and hunters are called wardens. Similar to Identity V, visitors must complete 3 rituals around the map by first finding ritual materials hidden in special chests around the map. These rituals are technically just cipher machines. Once 3 rituals have been completed, they may either escape through the various portals that will appear randomly around the map over a short period of time, or they may choose to fight the warden and damage them enough to destroy them. The warden's job is pretty simple: eliminate all the survivors before they either escape through the door or before they get themselves destroyed by the visitors. The warden has different abilities to quickly eliminate these visitors, from slam attacks, hooks, aqua bubbles, all the way to werewolf howls. Although visitors can defend themselves, of course, with different types of items, such as spirit swords, holy water, and traps that they can set on doorways. Oh, and of course much more. The game is still in open beta, technically, since they did have to revamp the whole game. The game was released over a year ago, but because they decided to completely redo the game is now technically in beta mode. What have they revamped? Well, they've revamped the base abilities for wardens and visitors, they've balanced all of the perks and abilities, and even how map interactions work. And they've also redone most of the maps to make them a little bit more fair. This has led to making the game feel way different than how it was when it first came out and when I first played it over a year ago. But it also means this game is in constant flux, as the developers try to work out how to balance an almost entirely different game than the one that they had originally. Originally, visitors had stamina, for example, meaning that they couldn't kite forever against the wardens, and the wardens had no abilities, well, kind of, to track survivors at all, meaning that they essentially just did not have any type of scratch marks. They just had to assume where these visitors were. From my brief experience playing the game, I've already felt some of the issues this game has. One of the most jarring for me was the matchmaking system. 2 matches into playing the game with the new update, my account level sitting at around level 3 because I have played it in the past and the levels haven't been reset, I was matched against a level 400 plus streamer who completely destroyed me as I tried to learn my warden's abilities. I expect this is just due to the balance changes and behind the scenes issues that developers are probably dealing with right this very second, but this instantly gave me a bitter taste. This wasn't the only thing that happened though. Seemingly I would be teamed with players that were at a much higher experience and playtime than me, both when I played Visitor and also when I played the Warden mode. This was completely unfair for the wardens that I would go against, since they would be kited the entire match by just 1 player. Or when I was the warden, the players would all gang up on me and put me into a stun loop with their items that mostly sums up my entire playthrough and history in this game as playing warden. When I was playing Visitor though, I felt much more in control of the pace of the match. There are so many tools a Visitor can use, different types of stun tools, energy drinks to help you move faster, an immense number of traps that you can quickly set up on doorways to block doorways, or just to stun wardens when they go through them. There's always something you can do to help out one of your teammates, or just set up kind of different kiting routes for you to use in the future. The time it takes to finish a ritual that are essentially generators if you play Dead by Daylight, or cipher machines if you play Identity V, and you only need to complete 3 before you pretty much can escape. But of course you do need to go to different item boxes around the match to find the special ritual items that does give you a little bit of a fetch quest to do, but that's not a bad thing. If you have a player that knows the map well and the other visitors are assisting in setting traps, stunning the warden, then usually the warden won't be able to do much. I just felt like I had power as a visitor. But when I played warden matches, I just felt frustrated, as most of the basic attacks for characters like Nymph, with a very awkward and difficult to hit aqua ball attack, and Prisoner with his slam attacks were just too difficult to use in a chase, especially since these abilities were pretty easy to dodge and in some cases cancel when you were just about to land the hit, as you got stunned out of your attack animation. It also felt like visitors were damage sponges and just absorbing all of the hits, and there was no real gratifying way of knowing how much damage you'd actually dealt to a player, and if you'd even hit them at all. As I mentioned before, there are traps in the game, and traps felt incredibly prevalent, and it felt like I couldn't get near to a group of visitors without getting stunned every 2 seconds. This is strange since, as a warden, you'd expect to feel like visitors should be afraid of you and that you have an advantage over them until their teamwork and skill at evading you would lead them to complete the rituals, escape, and or defeat you. Yet it does just feel like as a warden or a hunter, I'm constantly powerless, but this could be due to my low skill level in this game. I do want to say that, again, I have not been playing this game that much. I've played quite a few matches, but not a lot, and I haven't spent that much time in here, so a lot of these are just my experience, of course. This game does feel fun, and it does feel like it's heading in the right direction. It just feels like the match power dynamics for a 1v4 game feel a little inconsistent. How playing Warden just feels like it's more frustrating than it is rewarding. The concept of the matches and the graphics along with the design of the characters are really great, and I can see that they've put a lot of work into making the game feel creepy and dark, with a little humor in the cosmetics and a couple of character designs as well that does add more character to the game. Plus the tie-inspired characters such as the Wardens do add to giving the game more of a distinguishable identity compared to Identity V that is clearly a Chinese themed game with a Coraline themed art style. I recommend you try out the game if you're looking to test out a game that is new and similar to Dead by Daylight and Identity V, especially if you like the design of the characters or the fact that the visitors can fight back against the Warden. That is something that the latter two sort of lack. Well, sort of. If you want to see my original reaction to this video over a year ago, then you need to watch this video here that is quite old, and I must say, I'm not sure if you guys will enjoy it.